Hi, I'm Paul from the Studio Apps. Today is a really exciting day because this has just been released. This is the Boss WAZA Tube Amp Expander Core. Boss released the original WAZA Tube Amp Expander back in 2019, and it did things differently to pretty much every single load box out there. If you don't know what a load box is, I'll quickly explain it and then I'll go into all the features of the Tube Amp Expander Core. Basically, a load box attenuator allows you to run your guitar amp without the need of a speaker. Loads of guitar amps, or most guitar amps, don't sound that great at lower volumes and tend to sound really good as you reach its optimum level. Now, that level might be far too loud to listen to at home, even in the studio, and nowadays on a live stage. So what the load box attenuator allows you to do is to take a line out of the load box attenuator, run it into your recording device, your DAW, or to front of house. And also devices like the Tube Amp Expander Core, because it's an attenuator as well, it allows you to plug in a guitar speaker and then run that at basically whisper quiet volumes. The thing that made the Tube Amp Expander different to any other load box or attenuator out there is the fact that the Boss Tube Amp Expander has effects built in, and you can run those effects either out of the line out outputs, which is going to go either to your front of house or to your recording DAW, or you can run those effects straight to your guitar speaker. So what that enables you to do is to plug, say, like an amplifier which doesn't have an effects loop into the Tube Amp Expander, and then use the effects, or the internal effects inside the Tube Amp Expander, or run your own effects via the effects loop that's also included with the Tube Amp Expander. So for those of you that aren't used to load boxes or attenuators, that probably sounds very complicated. So let's go through and have a listen to what this thing does, and I'll explain it as we go along. So currently I'm running my tube amp into the Boss Tube Amp Expander Core. There's no speaker plugged in, so all of the sounds that you're hearing are coming direct out of the WAZA Tube Amp Expander Core. So first of all, let's have a look at the unit, or the front panel of the Tube Amp Expander Core, and then I'm going to have a look at the software to show you how you can deep dive. Now, first of all, we've got the reactive load side of the Tube Amp Expander Core. This basically determines how your amplifier is seeing the speaker, or the reactive load part of this unit. So we've got two choices here. We've got combo or stack. Now let's switch on to an overdrive sound, as you're going to notice more of a difference. So currently we're on the combo setting. We switch over to stack. Now, even though over YouTube, I can imagine you're hearing very little difference. What you'll notice as a player when you're plugged into this is that it feels different. Most load boxes only have one type of reactive load. What Boss have done here is to enable you to switch between more of a combo feel and a stack feel. Now, if you plug, say, a Marshall JCM 800 into a 1x12 speaker, that's going to feel very different to when you're plugged into, say, like a 4x12 speaker. So what the Tube Amp Expander Core does is enable you to get those different reactive loads on your amplifier. Now next we've got our rig setting, and I'll explain more of this as we get into the software side of the Tube Amp Expander Core. Basically what this enables us to do is to set up 10 individual presets inside the Tube Amp Expander Core. So when we're playing live or in the studio, we can switch between those 10 different presets. So on rig number 3, I've basically got the delays and reverbs turned off. It sounds like this. And so look, on rig number 1, I've got lots of reverb and lots of delay. Now next we've got the air feel level. Now what this enables you to do, if I switch it over to preset number 3, you'll hear this a bit more. What this does is to simulate an amplifier or a speaker in a room. So with it turned off, it sounds like this. You'll notice it's completely dry. Personally, I think this is an incredibly useful feature, especially to have on the front of the unit as well. When I'm recording guitars, basically I don't record with any delays or reverbs, but sometimes it's nice to have that more in the room sort of feel. And as a tight reflection room sort of tone, it sounds incredibly realistic. Next, we've got our speaker out. Now again, this is different to a lot of attenuator load boxes. This has a 30-watt power amp built in. So say that you've got like a real low powered amplifier, something like a 5-watt amp. What you can do is to plug that 5-watt amp into the tube amp expander core and then have a 30-watt power amp built in. So where possibly you couldn't have gigged with that 5-watt amplifier because it was too quiet, the tube amp expander core will enable you to get it up to sort of gigging levels. Next, we've got our line out. That's basically the level going to the front of house or your DAW. And next to that, we've got a headphone level. So if you need to practice silently late at night, you can plug headphones in and use those tube amp tones just coming through the headphones. So not only that, it also comes with an editor. Now you can run the editor either via Bluetooth, via the additional Bluetooth adapter that you can buy for this unit that also works with a bunch of other Boss devices as well. Or you can plug a USB cable straight out your computer, either Mac or PC, straight into the back of the tube amp expander core, and then deep dive and edit your sounds to exactly how you want them. So let's have a quick look at that. Let's go back to patch number 1. Now I've programmed this patch just to get it exactly how I want it to sound. Now inside the editor we can choose different microphones. We actually get 2 microphones with this, and we can move those microphones around to exactly how we want them. We can import our own IRs and use them instead of the microphone and speaker modeling that Boss use. And also we've got this mix assistant. Now if you're not used to using, say, EQ, so you're not used to shaping your guitar tone inside a mix, sometimes what happens is you get a ton of bottom end and a ton of top end, and it never fits in the mix because basically you're taking up frequencies that other instruments are taking up either live or in the recording. What you can do with the mixer system, if I switch it on, is you get 3 different choices of different EQ types that will basically help you shape your guitar so it fits in the mix better. Now, if I'm completely honest, I wouldn't use this, but Boss do include a fantastic EQ section. So if you want to dial out all of those frequencies, you can do just by using the inbuilt EQs. So let's have a look around the back of the unit. Now the tube amp expander core will enable you to plug up to a 100 watt tube amp into this. So it can pretty much handle any amplifier out there, apart from your sort of mega loud amps, things like a Mesa Boogie triple rectifier. We've got an effects loop, so if you want to add your own effects into it, you want to plug, say, like delays or reverbs or chorus pedals into it, you can do that as well. One of the other things that I really love about this unit is it uses XLRs. There are some other units that just use jacks. The great thing about XLRs is they actually lock in place, and it really is the pro way of taking output into your front of the house or into your DAW. As I said earlier, we've got our Bluetooth connectivity, which is here, and we can also control the tube amp expander core via MIDI. And lastly, we've got a speaker out jack, and that's where you plug your 1x12, 2x12, 4x12 speaker, whatever you want to use, into that so you can monitor live. So there you go. Now I would suggest that this is probably the most comprehensive amp load box attenuator that you can get. It sounds fantastic, it feels fantastic to play through, and with a retail price of £599 at the moment, if you're looking for a load box, I think this is a bit of a no-brainer, as you can get other load boxes which arguably have less features for nearly double the price. Anyway, I'll leave all the details for the Boss Tube Amp Expander core in the notes below, so if you want to go and check it out, you can do. I really hope you guys got something out of this video. If you did get something out of it, don't forget to like and subscribe, click on the bell button, and you'll be notified of any future video that comes out from the Studio Rats. I'm Paul, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.